Hey guys, Brent and welcome back to BrentMailPhotography.com. And in today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how I post-processed this image of a horse out at the Barrington Tops when we went away for the Easter weekend. There's the after, there's the before. Stick around and watch. Hey guys, welcome back. Okay, so let's have a look at the before and after images of this horse. First light in the morning, just a beautiful area. It's called Camp Cobark, which is near the Barrington Tops area, just west of Gloucester in Australia, New South Wales. All right, so let's get back to the original shot over here. So here we go. Before I did all that stuff to it, the imported shot. So there we go. Awesome. There we go. Not a bad image straight off the camera. By the way, I was shooting with the Fujifilm X-T1, a mirrorless camera, and the 56mm f1.2 lens, which is just beautiful. And obviously I'm shooting wide open here. I love that shallow depth of field, the f1.2, and I use it all the time. So it's beautiful. It often gets the subject in focus, which is great. The technology's coming on now where the focusing is a lot better than a year or two ago. Sometimes it misfocuses, but most of the time it actually gets it beautifully intact. And what I was doing here was I was shooting through a fence, so I actually bent my knees down and shot right into the light. So there's a lot of highlights up on the right hand corner, but at least I could get this grass with the dew in it, and I can get the horse backlit. All right, so let's jump into it. Okay, so the first things I'm going to do is let's try and get the white balance correct here. So normally what I do is I go through these first. So we can go to auto and see what it does. Nah. Maybe sunlight or shade, like daylight. Let's have a look at daylight. Yeah, getting a little bit better. It's it's a little bit better. So I might start over there and we can adjust these a little bit. So I'll just take the so it was more of a green scene, and let's see, we'll get it about there. There we go. So that looks like how I remember it. It was really green and lush in the morning. Okay, the exposure, yes, we can crank it up just a little bit. Oops, about over there. Yep, okay. And contrast, maybe just a smidge up there. All right, highlights, shadows, we'll just leave them for now. Whites, hit shift and double click on whites, double tap on blacks, and let's see what it does. Yep, getting there. Maybe the darks are just a little bit too dark, so let's go up to around there, and yep, whites are close over there. Cool. So already it's looking a lot better. Let's hit the back slash key. There's the before and there's the after, just by changing the white balance and a little bit of the basics panel here. So let's get to clarity. Yeah, I'm not quite sure yet. Let's crank up the vibrance because it was a very beautiful fresh morning. Saturation just a little. There we go. And yeah, I might crank down the clarity a little bit. I don't want it to be too clear. If we crank up the clarity too much, it just looks a little bit too harsh. So we'll go down a little bit on this. There we go. So about there. All right, so that's it. So before, after, yes, looking a lot better. Now, the couple of things I want to do with this, the sun over here is kind of bothering me a little bit. So let's see what we can do. And also the background over there. I want the background, that little bit over there, to be a little bit cooler, bluer. As you're looking into the image, normally the mountains in the background are a lot more blue, and maybe we'll make this the grass in the foreground a little bit more green. So let's do that next. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is go to the graduated filter and let's work on the background over here. So that's it. Cool. About over there. Let's see. That's about it. Cool. Perfect. So we'll move that down, and you can see I've actually got the mask overlay on now. I can turn it off if I want, but there it is. So there's a mask overlay. I can move it down a little bit. And what are we going to do? We're going to cool down. Well, let's just first double tap on those. Okay, let's cool down the background a little bit. Whoops, let's just take the mask overlay off. And let's have a look there. So about there we go. Cool. So cool, I've cooled it down. That's it. So let's have a look. So what I do, I basically just cooling down the background hill to make it look even more impressive as it's going off into the distance. And that's about it. That's all I'll do. You know, you could even take the clarity down a little bit more, make it more blurred, but I don't think that's going to do too much there. So we'll just double click on that. All right, the next thing we're going to do is the foreground. So let's click the a new one. So we can actually go, we can either go down there, we can close this, and we can click a new one, a new graduated filter. And let's do it from down here. So we want to get this grass area to be greener grass. There we go. Perfect. Cool. So awesome. So what are we going to do here? I'm going to take the tint down to green. All right. Oh, look at that. Maybe even a little bit more. Perfect. All right. We'll just double click those. Maybe the exposure down just a little bit. There we go. Cool. And the shadows. Let's just see. Yeah. Take that down a little bit. Perfect. And just make it a little bit darker. The black's down a bit. Cool. Now clarity, let's see. We don't want to be too clear because it's actually out of focus. So I might go down on the clarity there. Cool. Perfect. And let's add some saturation to this image. There we go. Perfect. And the sharpness, I don't want to be too sharp because it's already blurred, so let's go down to, there we go. Perfect. So that's it, guys. Let's have a look at with no filters and then filters. See how the background goes blue over there, and this is more green, so we're really highlighting the grass and the background. So that's just pretty close to perfect. I don't think I can do too much with that sun. I mean, I don't mind that too much. I mean, we could take the highlights down. It doesn't really do it for me because there's not much information, and that just doesn't look real. So we'll just go back to that. What about the shadows? Let's see. We could crank up the shadows a bit. No, I'll leave it there. I think that's it, guys. So that's the image. Okay, let's have a look at the before. There we go. A little bit dull before, but still a beautiful shot of the horses eating in the morning. And then there's the after. Basically, what I've done here is I've changed the basic panel a little bit, added more vibrance and saturation. I've changed the white balance. I've done a few things with the whites and the blacks. And then I've added those two graduated filters. I love the graduated filters because they allow you to add color and all sorts of things into certain areas of the image. So that's it, guys. By the way, if you want to see these images large, they'll be large on my website, brentmailphotography.com, or below this video there should be a link. So check them out large on my website, and I'd love some comments whether you actually want me to do more images like this, more travel kind of lifestyle travel images where I'm editing them, or give you some tips on how I take them. Please leave me comments on my website and I'll make more videos for you guys. That's it, guys. This is Brent. Have an awesome day.